Hello friends, in last lecture we saw the questions related to the sum of n terms of AP. Now in this lecture we will see some application based question on the same concept. So here is the very first question. Find the sum of first 40 positive integers. Find the sum of first 40 positive integers. Find the sum of first 40 positive integers divisible by 6. Divisible by 6. Okay, so first of all, first 40 positive integers divisible by 6. So here again, first of all, we have to find the first 40 positive integers which are divisible by 6. So very first number is, here I can write first 40 positive integers divisible by 6 are, okay, 6, then 12, okay, positive divisible by 6, then 18 and so on. Okay, so here we have A, here we have D, as we have second term we have D. We can also find the last term, but it is not required because some total number of terms are given. So this forms an AP with A is equal to 6, D is equal to 12 minus 6, that is 6. So now Sn is equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into D. So sum of 40 terms, n is 40, okay, so S40 is equal to 40 by 2, 2 into A is 6 plus n minus 1, that is 40 minus 1 into D, that is again 6. So S40 is equal to 40 by 2, that is 20. Okay, here I can write 20, 2 into 6, 12 plus 40 minus 1, that is 39 into 6, 39 into 6. Okay, so when we simplify this, we'll get the sum of first 40 positive integers which are divisible by 6. So 20, now 12 plus 234. Okay, so finally my answer is S40 is equal to 20 multiplied by 246. So S40 is equal to 4920. Okay, so please note it down, then we'll see the next question. Okay, now next question is find the sum of first 15 multiples of 8. Find the sum of first 15 multiples of 8. Okay, next question is find the sum of first 15 multiples of 8. Okay, so solution, first multiple of 8 is 8 itself. Okay, so first 15 multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 30, 24. Okay, so which forms an AP. Okay, with A is equal to 8. First term is 8 with A is equal to 8 and D is equal to again 8. 16 minus 8, that is 8. First term is 8, common difference is also 8. So now we'll find sum. Now Sn is equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into D. Okay, so S15, first 15, 15 by 2, 2a. A is the first term, that is 8, plus n minus 1, that is 15 minus 1 into D, that is 8. Now 15 by 2, 2 into 8, that is 16, plus 14 into 8. 2 into 8, 15 minus 1 is 14, so 14 into 8. So here S15 is equal to, I can take 2 common, or I can, and that will be better to take 2 common so that we can cancel this 2. So if I take 2 common, here I will get 16, that is 8, and over here I will get 7 into 2, 7 into 8. Okay, I took 2 common this, so 7 into 8. So S15 is equal to, I can cancel these two, 15 multiplied by 8 plus 56. So finally here I am going to get the final answer. S15 is equal to 15 multiplied by 64. Is multiplied by 64. Therefore S15 is equal to 960. So sum of first 15 multiples of 8 is 960. So please note it down, then we'll see the next question. Okay, now we'll see some word problems based on arithmetic progression. So very first question, is a sum of rupees 700, a sum of rupees 700 is to be used to give, is to be used to give 7 cash is 7 cash prize to students of a school, to students of a school for their overall academic performance, for their overall academic performance. If each prize is rupees 20 less, if each prize is rupees 20 less than the preceding prize, then its preceding price, find the value of each of the prices. Find the value of each price. Okay, so read the question once again and think over it, then I will give you solution. Okay, now see, sum of rupees 700 is to be used to give 7 prizes. So number of terms we can say is 7, and what is the total sum? 700. That means there are 7 prizes whose sum should be 7. So if you talk in terms of AP, there are 7 terms and sum of those 7 terms is 700. Okay, now these cash prizes are given for their academic performance if each prize is 20 less. That means if the first prize is, for example, 100, next will be 80, next will be 60. So in that way we can say D must be minus 20. Okay, because it is 20 less than the previous price, preceding price. So D is minus 20. So here actually we have to find A. After getting A, definitely we will be able to get the remaining price. So here N is equal to 7, N is equal to 700 or S7 equal to 700, D equal to minus 20. Okay, so now we'll apply the formula of Sn. Over there we have N, we have D, definitely we'll be able to get the value of A. So now Sn is equal to 700, therefore N by 2, 2A plus N minus 1 into D is equal to 700. N is 7, so 7 by 2, 2 into A plus N minus 1 into minus 20 is equal to 700. Okay, so let us see how to solve it further. Now this 7 I can take on that side. Okay, so this will become 2A plus, or if I multiply, this will be minus 20N. One thing more, here N is 7, so I will keep that value N equal to 7. So 2A plus 6 into minus 20 is equal to 700 into 2 upon 7. This 2 will be in multiplication, then 7 comes in the denominator. So 2A minus 120 is equal to 200. Therefore 2A is equal to 200 plus 120, that is 320. Therefore A is equal to 160. So very first price is rupees 160. Now what will be the next price? Next price will be 20 less than the preceding price. That means next price will be 140, then 120, and so on. So here I can write this prices are 160, 140, 120, and so on. So these are the prices in rupees. Okay, so please note it down, then we'll see the next question. Okay, so here is the next question. A spiral is made up of successive semicircles with centers alternatively at A and B. Okay, something like this is the diagram. So this is the spiral. Now it is made up of semicircles by taking first the center as A, then center B. So this semicircle is center is A. For this semicircle center is B, and for this third semicircle center is A, and then again for fourth center is B. Now radii of these semicircles are 0.5 centimeter, then 1 centimeter, then 1.5 centimeter, and so on. What we have to find? We have to find the length of such a spiral made up of 13 consecutive semicircles. So let the length of first semicircle is L1, length of this second semicircle is L2, length of this third semicircle is L3, and this L4, then next will be L5 up to L13. So actually what we have to find, L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L4 plus L5. So first of all, this is the semicircle. So what is the length of semicircle? Pi into r. Okay, now radii, let this radii be of these semicircle is r1, r2, r3, and r4 up to r13. So we can start with that only. Sum of these semicircle is actually sum of all sum of L1 plus L2 plus L3. So suppose, okay, suppose radii of semicircles B R1, R2, R3 up to R13, and their length is L1, L2, L3 up to L13. Therefore I can say L1 is equal to 2 pi R1, L2 is equal to 2 pi R2, L3 is equal to 2 pi R3, and so on. Okay, now what we have to find, L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L2 up to L13. Now also radii is also R1 is equal to 0.5, R2 is equal to 1.0, R3 is equal to 1.5, and so on. Okay, these are the radii. Now what we have to find, sum of spiral, sum of all these length, that means total length of spiral. So total length is given by L1 plus L2 plus L3 up to L13. So note it down up to this point, then I will give you its further solution. Okay, now we'll find total length. Okay, so now total length is equal to L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus up to L13. Okay, I'm saying total length is S sum. Now L1 is 2 pi R1 plus 2 pi R2 plus 2 pi R3 plus up to 2 pi, not 2 pi, only pi. Why? Because these are the semicircles. Here again I have to take pi only. Okay, because these are the semicircles. So pi R1 plus pi R2 up to pi R13. Therefore S equal to, now if I take pi common, here I will get R1 plus R2 plus R3 up to R13. Okay, up to R13. Therefore S is equal to pi, now 0.5 plus 1.0 plus 1.5 up to 13 terms. Okay, up to 13 term. Okay, now here 0.5, 1.0, 1.5 forms an AP. Okay, this forms an AP with A equal to 0.5, D equal to 1.0 and N equal to 13. Okay, this forms an AP. So now we'll apply the formula to find the sum of 13 terms. Okay, so note it down up to this, then I will give you the remaining solution. Okay, so therefore, now F is equal to here it is pi. Now I apply the formula n by 2 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and now I will put the values. So 13 by 2 into 0.5 plus 13 minus 1 into 0.5. Okay, d is again here 0.5. So pi, now 13 by 2, here it is 1 plus 12 into 0.5. Okay, so finally my answer is pi, here it is 13 by 2, 1 plus 6. Okay, now if I want to put the value of pi, that is 22 by 7, here it is 13 by 2, okay, multiplied by 13 by 2 multiplied by 7. So I can cancel this 7 with this 7, 2 with this. So ultimately my answer is 143 centimeter, because all these units are in centimeter, these radii are in the centimeter. So length of such a spiral up to 13 consecutive circle is 143 centimeters. So please note it down, then we'll see the next question. Okay, so here is the next question. The houses of a row are numbered from 1 to 49. Show that there is a value of n such that sum of the numbers of the houses preceding the house numbered n is equal to the sum of the numbers of houses following it. For a while I am considering the houses are in such a way h1 plus h2 then h3. Okay, now there is a house whose number is n, and after that I will get house number h, n plus 1, then n plus 2 up to 49. Now what we have to find, we have to find the number of this house in such a way that if I add the numbers preceding this should be equal to the sum of the numbers after this. Now I am taking one example. Suppose this is up to 8 for a while. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I take up to 8. Okay, I'm giving you an example of the same pattern, but considering let the house numbers are up to 8, then we can see it practically that there exists a number such that, for example, here this is the value of n, because this is the value of n, this 6 is the value of n, because the numbers preceding this, that means 5 plus 4 9 plus 3 12 plus 2 14 plus 1 15 is equal to the number of houses after this, 7 plus 8 15. But here I took it practically because numbers were little bit less. Now here the numbers are up to 49. So what we have to do, we have to find such a house number such that if we add the numbers of houses before that house, then it should be equal to the number of houses after that house. So let the house numbers be like in this way. Okay. First house, then second, then third. Okay, here house number n. Now as this is the house number n, definitely one house just before this will be house number n minus 1. Okay, if I consider the number of this house is n, then the number of house just preceding this will be n minus 1. Okay, so here I am taking n minus 1, then house number n, then house number n plus 1, then house number n plus 2 up to house number 49. Okay, up to house number 49. N, then house number n plus 1, then house number n plus 2 up to house number 49. Okay, so I have to find this in such a way n, actually I have to find n in such a way that if I add h1 plus h2 h3 up to hn minus 1, it should be equal to n plus 1 plus n plus 2 plus n plus 3 plus and finally up to 49. So according to question, according to question, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n minus 1 is equal to n plus 1 plus n plus 2 plus 48 plus 49. Okay, the number of houses before the nth house, their sum is equal to the numbers of houses that comes after house number n. So 1 to n minus 1, sum of these 1 to n minus 1 should be equal to sum of the numbers which come after n, that means n plus 1, n plus 2, 49. So this sum should be this sum. Now if you solve this, definitely this is an AP, because here 1 2 3 4, here again there is a common difference of 1, so this is again an AP. But here we have first term, here we have last term, here we have common difference. Over here definitely n plus n is the first term, but what is n, that we don't know. So now what we will do, see, if I add 1 to n on both sides, then what I will get? What I am doing, I am writing this 1 2 3 up to n minus 1 as it is, and I am adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n. I added on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. I am adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to n on the right hand side also. Okay, n plus 1, then n plus 2 up to 48 plus 49. Okay, what I did, I added this much, 1 to n on the right hand side, 1 to n on the left hand side. Now when I added this on the right hand left hand side, this 1 to n, this gives me an AP. Simply A is 1, D is 1, and so on. Similarly this gives an AP which starts from 1. Here now if I add these two, I can say these two actually makes an AP which starts from 1 and goes up to 49. See, we have 1 2 3 up to n, and after n we have n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3 up to 49. That means by adding these two we'll get an AP which starts from 1 and goes up to 49. So please note it down up to this point, then I will give you the further solution. Okay, now let us see its solution further. See, this first bracket is an AP whose first term is 1, last term is n minus 1. So number of terms are n minus 1. So sum of AP is number of terms by 2. First term plus last term. Okay, I use the formula. What is the formula of Fn? N by 2 A plus L. That means number of terms divided by 2, first term plus last term. So here number of terms, this is the last term, so number of terms by 2, first term plus last term. Okay, over here again n by 2, first term that is 1, last term that is n, is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 49. Okay, because this gives you sum of all terms starting from 1 to 49. Now here I will solve it further. Minus 1 plus 1 cancel, so n minus 1 by 2 plus n plus 1 by 2 is equal to, again here I can apply the sum of n terms, that is number of terms by 2, first term plus last term. Now here I can take LCM, that is 2. Over here n square minus n plus n square plus n is equal to 49 by 2 into 50. So I can cancel these two, minus n plus n. So 2n square by 2 is equal to 49 into 25. Okay, now I can cancel this 2 and 2, so I will get n square. N square is equal to 49 into 25. So n is equal to 7 into 5, that is n is equal to 35. That means the required house number is 35. It means if you add the numbers from 1 to 34, that must be equal to the sum of the numbers from 36 to 49. So note it down, then we'll check whether we are getting our answer correct or not. We'll cross verify whether the sum of 1 to 35 is equal to 1 to 34 is equal to the sum of numbers from 36 to 49 or not. Okay, so here you can write the concluding line. Thus the required house number is 35. Now we'll cross verify our answer. That means we'll check the sum of 1 to 34, and that should be equal to the sum of the numbers from 36 to 49. So we have to check. I'm saying this is S1 plus 2 up to 34. It is very easy to check. Okay, 34 by 2, first term plus last term. Okay, so 17 into 35. 17 5s are 85, 5 carry 8, 17 3s are 595. Okay, now that should be equal to this S dash, that means from 36, 37, 38 up to 49. Okay, up to 49. Okay, so how many terms are there? The total are 49 terms. Now if we subtract these 34 terms, then 15 terms left, and 35 is also excluded. That means these are the 14 terms. So here A is 36, isn't it? D is 1, and number of terms are 14. There are 14 terms because total 49 terms. 34 we added over here. 35th is that particular house number. So after 35 up to 49, only 14 terms left. So we'll find the sum n by 2, that is 14 by 2. 2 into A plus 14 minus 1 into D, that is 1. So 14 by 2 is 7, 36 into 2, 72 plus 13. Okay, 14 minus 1 is 13. So here we will get 7 multiplied by 75, 85. Okay, 595. You can see the sum is same. Okay, so we cross verified our answer in short. Okay, so if you want to note it down, have a note, then we'll see the next question. Okay, so this is the next question. 200 logs are stacked in a following manner. In first row there are 20 logs. In second row, that means a row just above that, there are 19 logs. Then next row there are 18 logs, and so on. So in how many rows there are 200 logs are placed? How many logs are in the top row? Okay, so diagram is, this is the question number 44. Okay, this is the question number 44 from your material. So you can see the diagram related to this from that only. It looks something like this. I'm giving you rough diagram over here. Okay, these are the logs placed in such a way. Okay. Okay, so in the bottom most row there are 20 logs, then the upper row there are 90 logs, and so on. So we have to find how many total rows are there, as well as how many logs are there in the topmost row. So suppose Okay, let us see its solution. Suppose number of rows be n. Okay, therefore I can say Sn is equal to 200 because sum of all logs is equal to 200. Also it is given in the first row there are 20 logs. Okay, so suppose number of rows be n. Also here I can write here A is equal to 20 and D is equal to -1 because in the second row there are 19 logs. So 20, then 19, then 18. So in that way common difference is -1. Now Sn is equal to 200. Therefore n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into D is equal to 200. Therefore n minus 2, 2 into 20 plus n minus 1 into minus 1 is equal to 200. Therefore n by 2 it is 40 minus n plus 1 is equal to 200. Now this 2 can be taken on that side, so n here you will get 41 minus n is equal to 400. So ultimately here I will get 41n minus n square is equal to 400, or I can say n square minus 41n plus 400 is equal to 0. So here I got a quadratic equation, n square minus 41n plus 400 is equal to 0. So to get the value of n I have to apply the splitting the middle term. Okay, so for that I need to find the factors of 400. So factors of 400, so I can say actually 4 into 100, so 2 into 2, and from here 4 into 25, so 2 into 2 into 5 into 5. These will be the factors. Okay, so 16 and 25, that gives you 41. So it's easy. Okay, so let us see how to solve it further. This is n square minus 41n plus 400 is equal to 0. Okay, so n square minus 16n minus 25n plus 400 is equal to 0. Now I can take n common, so n minus 16. From here I can take minus 25 common, so n minus 16 is equal to 0. So n minus 16 into n minus 25 is equal to 0. Therefore n equal to 16 or n equal to 25. Now n represents over here is the number of rows. Okay, so number of rows, either it will be 16 or it will be 25. Both cannot be the number of rows. Either it will be 16 or it will be 25. So now we have to decide whether it is 16 or 25, as well as we have to answer one more question, that how many rows are in the top row. So there are 16 rows, so 16th row will be the top row, or if I assume that there are 25 rows, so 25th row will be the last row. So note it down up to this point, then we'll see how we can cancel, or how we can approach that which among these two is correct or which among these two is incorrect, as well as how to get the number of rows in the last or the top row. Okay, so note it down. Okay, so I'm assuming there are n, so there are 16 rows, and I'm also assuming the number of logs in 16th row be m. So am will be 16. If I say there are 16 rows, okay, so now suppose number of logs in top row is m. Therefore AM is equal to 16 or AM is equal to 25. Okay, now I'll find AM. Now AM equal to 16, so A plus M minus 1 is into D is equal to 16. Now A is what? 20. Okay, M minus 1. D is what? Minus 1, that is 16. So 20 minus M plus 1 is equal to 16. So minus M is equal to 16 minus 21. Therefore minus M is equal to minus 5. Therefore M is equal to 5. So if I solve AM equal to 16, M equal to 5, that means number of logs in top row is 5. Now let us see what if I solve AM equal to 25. Okay, now AM is equal to 25. Therefore A plus M minus 1 into D is equal to 25. Therefore 20 plus M minus 1 into minus 1 is equal to 25. Therefore 20 minus M plus 1 is equal to 25. Therefore minus M is equal to 25 minus 21. Therefore minus M is equal to 4 and ultimately M equal to minus 4, which is not possible. Number of logs cannot be negative, it should be positive or max. At the max it can be 0. Okay, there are no logs in the top row, but again it is not possible. If there is a top row, definitely there will be some logs in that. So here number of logs cannot be negative. So here we got two things. As the number of logs cannot be negative, or the number of logs in the top row cannot be negative, hence total number of rows are 16 and it has 5 logs. Okay, so that will be our concluding line. I am writing that concluding line over here. As number of logs in top row or in any row, at the number of logs cannot be negative, therefore there are 16 rows and 16th row, that is top row, has how many logs? Has 5 logs. Okay, that is the final answer. Okay, so as the number of logs cannot be negative, whether it is in top row or not, that's why I wrote it in bracket. Number of logs cannot be negative, therefore there are 16 logs, 16 rows, as well as number of logs in this row are 5. So please note it down and then we'll see the next question. Okay, so this is the next question. In a potato race, a bucket is placed at the starting point, which is 5 meters away from the first potato. You can see in the diagram, this is I'm considering the first potato, which is at the distance of 5 meters from the bucket. Okay, and the remaining potatoes or other potatoes are placed at the distance of 3 meters. Okay, first potato at the distance of 5 meters from the bucket, and the distance between remaining potatoes is 3 meters. In a straight line. Okay, and how many potatoes are there? There are 10 potatoes in the straight line. Now a competitor starts from the bucket, picks up the nearest potato, runs back with it, drop it in the bucket, then runs back to take the second potato, then again comes back toward the bucket, drop it in the bucket, and so on. So doing this, in this complete process, taking all the potatoes, what we have to find, what is the total distance the completer has to run. Okay, once again the completer starts from the bucket. So uh, he or she will come up to the first potato, he will take it this, come back to the bucket, drop it in, then again go to fetch the second potato, then again he has to travel this much to drop the potato in the bucket, and he has to follow this uh, procedure so that he or she can take all the 10 potatoes. So first of all, how much distance the competitor has to travel to take the first potato? See, from here it will start, so 5 plus 5. So to take the first potato and drop it in the bucket, the competitor has to travel 10 meters. Okay, then for taking the second potato, so see, he took the potato from here, come back to this, dropped it in this. So now the competitor is over here. Now to fetch the second potato, he has to travel 5 plus 3, 8, and then again come back 8 meters to drop the potato in the bucket. Similarly, for the third potato, the competitor has to travel 5 plus 3 plus 3, that means 11 plus 11, 22 meters to take and drop the potato in the bucket. So for first potato 10, for second potato it will be 16, for third potato it will be 22, and so on. So this forms an AP. Okay, so how we write this, let us see. Okay, so distance traveled by the competitor to take and drop the potatoes in the bucket is as follows. Okay, 10, then 16, then 22, and so on, up to 10 terms, or up to 10 potatoes. So here I will write up to 10 terms because there are 10 potatoes in the row. Now this forms an AP, isn't it? Which forms an AP with A equal to 10, D is equal to 6, and N is equal to 10. So now it's very easy to find the total distance. So now total distance is given by n by 2 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Therefore now total distance I am taking at s. How much n? N is 10. 10 by 2. 2 into a. What is a? A is 10. Okay. Plus n minus 1. N is 10. 10 minus 1. D is 6. So in this way 10 by 2 is 5. 2 into 10 or 2 into 10 is 20. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 6 are 54. So here I'll get S is equal to 5 multiplied by 54, 74, that is equal to 370. So total distance the competitor has to run is 370 meters. Okay, so I hope you got the concept. Okay, the in the question, a better diagram given in your material. This question is question number 45. Okay, so however the diagram is almost clear over here, but a little bit better diagram given in your material, and refer from that question number 45. Okay, I'm explaining once again. See, this is not the big deal. We know how to find the sum. If we have a, d and a, it is just about to put the values in the formula. The only thing is that to fetch these values from the question, that what will be a, what will be d, what will be n, and so on. And the most of to obtain that, what we have to find. Okay, here definitely we are finding the solving the questions related to sum of n terms, so it's very clear. But when you get this type of question in your exam, over there it won't be given to you that whether you have to find the nth term or you have to find the sum of n terms. So that also you have to understand with the help of the question. So here again we'll see the question. There is a potato race. In that, first potato is at the distance of 5 meters from the bucket. Remaining potatoes are at the distance of 3 meters. Now competitor starts from the bucket. He or she has to take first potato, come back towards the bucket. He has to drop that potato in the bucket. Then he or she has to go to pick the second potato, and again he has to come back to drop that potato in the bucket, and so on. And in that way he has to take all the 10 potatoes. The question is that how much distance the competitor has to run to finish this task. Okay, so we started that how much distance actually competitor has to travel to pick and drop the first potato. So from bucket to first potato 5 meters, and from potato to bucket again 5 meters, that means 10 meters. So distance traveled by competitor to take and to pick and drop the potatoes in bucket as follows. For first it is 5 plus 5 is 10. Now the competitor is over here. To go to the second potato he has to travel 5 plus 3, that is 8 meters. Again he has to come back 8 meters. So 8 plus 8 16. In the similar way 5 plus 3 plus 3 for the third potato, it will be 11, and 11 towards the bucket. So these are the distance traveled by competitor to pick and drop the consecutive potatoes. 10 meters, 16 meters, 22 meters, up to 10 terms, or for the 10 potatoes. So which forms an AP with common difference, which first term a is 10 and the common difference is 6, and number of terms, because there are 10 potatoes, so n is 10. Now just we have to put the values in the formula. Total, that is sum of the distance traveled, n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. A is 10, n is, sorry, a is 10, yes, n is also 10. Okay, so by solving this is 20, 9 into 6, 54, 54 plus 20, 74 into 5, that is 370 meters. So please note it down, then we'll see the next question. Okay, so this is the next question. A ladder has rungs 25 centimeter apart as shown in the figure. Okay, so first question that might come in your mind, what is the meaning of rung? So this is rung, and in simple terms we can say steps on which we that we use to climb up in the ladder. So these are the steps or rungs which are 25 centimeter apart. That means distance between two consecutive rungs is 25 centimeter. Okay, now this is ladder, not the staircase. There is a difference between ladder and the staircase. Staircase is fixed, ladder is movable. Okay, so this is a wooden ladder whose rungs are 25 centimeter apart. Distance between two consecutive steps or rungs is 25 centimeter. Diagram is given. Now the rungs decrease uniformly in length from 45 centimeter at the bottom to 25 centimeter at the top. That means the bottommost rung has length 45 centimeter and the topmost rung has length 25 centimeter. Okay, length of the lowest or the bottommost rung is 45 and the over here it is 25. Okay, so if top and the bottom rungs are 2.5 meter apart, distance between the topmost and the bottommost rung, this distance is given 2.5 meter. Now what you have to find, what is the length of the wood required for the rungs. Okay, now read the question properly. They are not asking the length of the wood required to make the ladder. They are just asking to find the length of the wood required for the rungs. That means these two bases which are slant, we are least bothered about their length. Just we have to concentrate on the length of these rungs. So the length of the first or the bottommost rung is 45 centimeter, then but obvious the second last rung has length how much, it is decreasing. Okay, it is not given how much it is, the length in what form length is decreasing, that is not given. The only thing is given the distance between the first and the last row. So if you see this question in terms of arithmetic progression, we can say first term is given, last term is given, and we have to find the sum. Now when first term and last term are given and we have to find the sum, what we need more, see, formula of sum is either n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Now over here definitely we need n, we need d. Okay, common difference is not given, so we have to skip this formula because two quantities are not given. Sn is equal to n by 2 a plus l. We can use this because we have these two, only we need n, total number of rungs that we need. So how to find the total number of rungs? See, for a while if I say there are 4 rungs, okay, just for a while I am saying there are 4 rungs. So how many gaps are there? How many gaps are there between 4 rungs? 3 gaps. So can I say that number of gaps plus 1 is equal to the total number of rungs? Okay, one thing more, these 3 gaps are the equal distance. So if I add these 3 gaps, I will get the length between the first and the last rung. So if I say there are n rungs, if I say let there are n rungs, so if there are n rungs, so n minus 1, there will be n minus 1 gap. If there are 4 rungs, there are 3 gaps. If I take 5 rungs, then there will be 4 gaps. So here I am considering number of rungs be n. So there are n rungs, so how many gaps will be there? N minus 1 gap. Now length of each gap is given, that means how apart these rungs are given. So if I multiply these lengths or these gaps with the number with the n minus 1, what I will get? Total distance between the first and the last rung, that is 2.5 meter. So this gives me n, number of rungs, and after getting number of rungs it is very easy to get the solution. So let us see, first we will find the number of rungs. So suppose number of rungs are n, therefore I can say n minus 1 multiplied by distance between okay, therefore I can say n minus 1 multiplied by distance between two consecutive rungs is equal to, okay, n minus 1. If I'm considering there are n rungs, so n minus 1 gaps will be there, and if I multiply the distance between two consecutive rungs with n minus 1, what I will get, the distance between first and the last rung is equal to distance between first and distance between first and last rung. Okay, that I will get on multiplication. So it means if I solve it further now, therefore n minus 1 multiplied by, now what is the distance between two consecutive rungs? Distance between two consecutive rungs is 25 centimeter, because they are 25 centimeter apart. So here I am writing 25 centimeter is equal to distance between first and last rung. First and last, that means top and the bottom. How much it is? 2.5 meters. 2.5 meters. So if I solve this further, n minus 1 is equal to 25 into 25 is equal to 2.5 into 100. I converted right hand side also into centimeters. So this is n minus 1 is equal to 250 upon 25. Therefore n minus 1 is equal to 10, and hence n is equal to 11. Therefore there are 11 rungs. There are 11 rungs. Okay, now after getting n, it is very easy to find the sum. So please note it down up to this point, then we'll see find the how to find the sum. Okay, now here A is equal to 45, L is equal to 25, all in centimeter, and N is equal to 11. Therefore S is equal to N by 2 A plus L. Okay, now so therefore S is equal to, what is N? N is the number of rungs, that is 11 by 2. Now what is A? Is the first rung, that is 45, plus last, that is 25. So S is equal to 11 by 2 multiplied by 70, that is 11 multiplied by 35. So final is 385 centimeter. Okay, so please note it down. Okay, so that is all about word problems. Now in next lecture we'll see some special type of problems related to arithmetic progression. Till then, bye, thank you, take care, stay at home.